Welcome to Digits. I'm Simon Constable. There's a battle royale underway between Apple and Google when it comes to tablets, but WSJ tech columnist Farhad Manjoo says actually no contest. And he joins us now from San Francisco. Farhad, thanks for being there.
Hey, good to be here.
So you've come to a conclusion that there's no contest in this market. Explain your thinking for us, please.
Yeah, so I basically argue that there are two ways that the tablet market could shake out. First, it could go kind of like the iPhone market, where Apple does really well in profits, but it doesn't kind of command the lion's share of market share. It doesn't get the majority of sales. And that's what happens in the smartphone business, and Apple does really well there, but it's not the top seller. The other option is what happened in the iPod market. There, Apple basically commanded everything, market share. All the music players that were sold were almost all of them were iPods, and it got the most of the profit in the market. And I argue that's what's going to happen in the tablet market. It's kind of a risky argument because the iPad's market share has been declining recently, but I argue that it's going to sort of stabilize, and Apple is going to remain the dominant seller as well as remain the profit leader.
Now, one of the key numbers in your piece is 64% is the share of Apple devices running iOS 7. Explain why that is such a key number.
Yeah, so iOS 7 just came out a few weeks ago, and already most of iPhone users and iPad users are already on the new system. That's really important for this reason. It makes the iPad a platform. It makes it all of the iPads that have been sold over the years are basically running this one system that developers can write apps for. This makes the iPad much easier to use in large-scale deployments like businesses or retail establishments. And it also makes it a much better target for app developers to write apps for. And that makes the iPad something that people will choose because that's where the apps are. If you want to play games, if you want to run the latest social apps, you're much better off going with the iPad than you are going with with an Android tablet.
And you're guaranteed that when the apps are on the iPad, they actually fit and they're made for it, which is so important, whereas the Android ones have to be tweaked a little bit. Now, the other key number is $299, and this is for the iPad mini. And I think the iPad mini is a great product. Why is that so important in your mind?
Yeah, one of the things that that Apple did with the iPod market over time is it released new models and slowly lowered its price so that it made the device more and more accessible to more people. Now, the iPad mini that it's selling for $299 is actually last year's iPad mini. So spec-wise, it might not compare very well with kind of the Google Nexus 7, for example, which is $229. It has a better screen than the iPad mini. But for $299 for an iPad, I think people will choose that iPad over the Nexus 7 just because of what I said before. You get all those apps. So Apple is slowly making it more accessible price-wise, while also offering you kind of all the great stuff that you get on the iPad. So I think they're just making it slightly more competitive, and that's going to really help them out.
Okay, great stuff. Very well argued. We appreciate your time, sir. Farhad Manjoo, high-definition columnist here at the Journal.
Thanks. Good to be here.
I'm Simon Constable, and this is WSJ Live.